You are listening to the 2.5 Weebs podcast, a show where two veteran anime fans drag a newbie down the rabbit hole of waifus, isekai, and fan service, as well as the happenings in the gaming world. The show is recorded every Sunday live on the Mixer channels of Comfimus and Mr. Vengeance. Enjoy.
All right, 2.5 Weebs. It's been a couple weeks. We missed a couple episodes. We're sorry. But yeah, we are back at it again, bringing you the probably longer episode because it's, 6 episodes of Konosuba, 2 episodes of Vinland Saga. Joined as always by Comfy and Copper. How are you guys?
Good. I'm going.
Comfy's not dead, so we're fine.
It's not yet.
Oh no, please no. So anywho, yeah, what have you guys been up to?
Comfy, go ahead, because I know you actually had stuff finished.
Yeah, my school semester finished up this past week. Tuesday was my last day of classes. I'm literally uploading my last assignment right now, because I was just waiting on it to render out and then submit. So now, once this goes up, then I'm done for the year of 2019.
Nice.
So that's cool.
You're done for the decade.
Oh man, wow.
Shit. Yeah. You're right. Done for the decade.
Done for the decade.
Yeah. Next
Especially if you
decade's
have to
gonna
say,
be so
when you go
great
back, that
too.
You haven't been to school since last decade.
Yeah. I mean, I can actually say that unironically. I can say that right now, actually. So
Wow.
yeah. We old. Okay. So anyway, lots of fun. I haven't really been doing anything out of the ordinary. Copper's been doing anything
I got
interesting?
a raunchy shirt past the censorship.
That's
Oh,
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
you did.
From...
He made a really gross rare drop shirt, but it's probably selling like hotcakes.
It is selling super well, apparently.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Means I might be able to push the envelope a little more.
Oh no.
Other stuff.
Oh no. What's next?
Here's the thing. I've been censored before so this is the first time they let one through.
Yeah.
So it's selling well, which means I could probably use that to push things.
Sure. Yeah. Makes sense.
Like, hey, remember that time where we're all able to crumb together? I think
God damn it.
that we should be allowed to do more things like that.
Yes. Very good. So yeah. I know Comfy is very excited because he loves Konosuba. Copper said you like it, right?
Oh man.
Konosuba is one of my favorite shows.
Yeah. So we covered the first 6. We covered this episode a long time ago, or this show a long time ago before we actually made this into a podcast officially.
A very long time ago.
It was like maybe episode number 4 or 5 for me. So I was like, I hated it. But yeah, it's another isekai, which we've talked about how we're all sick of isekais, but it's an isekai, and we revisited it. This time we covered the first 6 episodes rather than the first 3.
Yeah.
Now, because we've got so much to go through,
Yeah.
I think taking broader strokes with this might be a little bit better.
Good. Yeah, go ahead.
I can draw you some real broad strokes right now.
So
Giddy.
our main character, as Dale said, this is an isekai. So our main guy dies on Earth.
In a very pathetic way. It was ridiculous.
Very
pathetic
tragic.
No,
No, he tried to save a girl from getting run over by a tractor.
He didn't know
He
it wasn't a tractor, so he thought he was going to jump in front of a fast-moving truck, push her out of the way, and save her life. In fact, he jumped in front of a very slow-moving piece of farm equipment, had a heart attack because he was terrified, and died. Nobody would have been injured.
Out,
he saw
the only reason he went outside was because he needed to pick up a new expansion for an MMO that had in-store exclusives.
Yes, that's true. That's also true.
So he dies. He meets the lovely and not at all ridiculous goddess Aqua, who is like, hey, you can either go to heaven where it's going to be really boring, get reincarnated on your world where it's going to kind of suck anyways, or I can send you to a fantasy world where you'll keep all of your memories, you'll understand the language or explode, we don't know, and you can bring one thing with you, and you can just, if you slay the Demon King, then you get to go back to your world and live the most lavish lifestyle possible. And he's like,
Yes.
well, I like games. I like worlds with magic and stuff. That sounds like a great idea. Looks at a million items. He's like, wow, these are all broken. But the goddess is kind of a bitch. So he's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to drag you into this with me. Brings the goddess with him to that new world. And man, is she useless.
The goddess she named Aqua. She's kind of
Yes.
A dunce.
she's kind of
She's
terrible.
kind of an idiot.
Doesn't wear panties.
From there, he meets.
It's actually Schrodinger's panties.
Yeah. So
oh,
he ends
well,
up joining the
whatever.
Adventurers Guild
There's lots of butt shots.
and ends up meeting two more people to form his party with. One is a mage who only casts one spell,
which
day.
is
and
hilarious.
what she does, it completely exhausts her, and she refuses to use any other magic. So she's kind of useless. After
Like
that
she
one
can
use.
actually murder so many bad guys, and it's great and it's helpful. But the thing is,
It is.
she like
But
literally
then after
passes
the one
out.
use, it's like, oh, and somebody has to carry her.
Yeah.
And our other person is a crusader, which is basically their tank of the group, which is great, except she's got a couple of problems. One,
Just a
she
couple.
can't hit the broadside of a
Just a couple.
barn with a sword.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she
Just
is
standing
all
next to it.
she cannot attack, only protect, and
And she's also very turned on by being hurt.
she is
She's a masochist.
yes,
to
she's a
say the
masochist.
least.
And it's
It's a great time.
you could
We
literally hit
did
her in the head, and
also-
then she'd go, "Yes, please, another." And
we
that's
skimmed
that's her
over
kink.
our main character, our good boy. His name is Kazuma, by the way. Learned a steal skill from a friendly thief girl and learned how to steal panties
Yeah,
because
yep.
that's a thing.
Not.
Because his luck stat is super high,
I mean, he.
so he ends up taking things he shouldn't be able to normally take, which is
Yeah.
panties.
And then at the end of that episode, everybody in the town has to go to an emergency quest because the town is getting attacked by cabbages.
Yes.
With the annual cabbage harvest, where they need to go and get cabbages.
So
Now,
just imagine little sentient flying cabbages.
in
They're-
this
they're-
world, cabbages fly, and they're
they're-
also super delicious.
They're harmless, but you have to. kill them.
Harmless. I'm pretty sure they were whack in darkness around something fierce.
That is. Yeah, I guess they did that, didn't they? Well, I mean, they didn't hurt her.
No,
she
they did
very
quite the opposite.
she had a good time. 'Cause she's got yeah.
The next episode, Kazuma apparently got super rich because he was just able to use his steal skill to pick up a bunch of cabbage. But no, there's no quests because one of the Devil King's generals is nearby. So Megumin and Kazuma just go every single day to do explosion magic, and they just start getting really, really into it. Then, one of the generals shows up, and he's like, hey, guys, every day, every damn day, every bloody damn day,
Somebody's
somebody's
blows up
using
my castle.
explosion magic on my castle. And if we can't guess who that was, it was Megumin.
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. Something bad was going to
Yeah.
happen from her using
Yeah.
the whole. It was.
And so he comes in and he shows up and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna put a death curse on you." And he tries to put a death curse on Megumin, but instead darkness jumps in because she's into that. And he's like, "All right, if you show up in 1 week and come to the castle and apologize, then I will stop this curse from killing your friend." But Aqua's a high priestess, and the moment that the general disappears, she just purifies the kill spell.
Yeah,
So it's
just-
completely worthless
just-
anyways.
Just heals darkness, and she's fine.
Mhm. And the next episode,
What
they
was
take
with
on
the
a quest-
alligators?
Yeah, they take on a quest to go purify a lake. Because Aqua is the goddess of water, so she just has to sit in the lake to purify it.
Mhm.
But the lake is also full of really, really angry, really bad alligators.
Yep.
So they stick her in a cage and throw her in the lake.
Because
And
they can't. They don't want to fight the alligators, so they're just like, "Fuck
Mm-hmm.
it, we'll throw her in a cage and put the cage in the water. That way, she touches the water, and the alligators can't get her."
Yeah.
Which kinda it works. It works.
Yeah, alligators show up and start getting real angry.
And start
she starts
thrashing-
screaming.
Yeah.
And she gets depressed and lonely.
Yeah, she realizes that she's
then-
terrified and like she just
The world
wants.
terrifies her, so she refuses to leave.
They go back to town and she's just in the cage and she's like, "I don't want to leave this cage."
Oh, and
So
she's
the-
singing this.
the
What was the
world is
song? She's
scary.
singing a song to make it look
Mhm.
like they're keeping her prisoner, and he's like,
Like they're
everybody is
they're
staring
keeping
at
a prisoner
him,
and that they're gonna sell her.
and everybody in town is looking at him like they're the worst.
And he's like, please just come out of the cage.
Please. She's
And
like,
then,
no, it is safe in here. Blah blah blah.
But then another adventurer shows up who's like, wait, I know that lady. She's the goddess who sent me to this world. Lady Aqua, the goddess. I'm here to rescue you from this foul demon who put you in a cage. Which leads to him being really, really mad that Kazuma put Aqua in a cage, even though Aqua wants to stay in the cage for no reason.
Yes.
He challenges Kazuma to a duel. Kazuma says, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Uses his steel skill and steals the dude's sword. And then wins the duel, leaves, and sells it.
Yeah, it is a incredibly powerful sword, which he, in the episode earlier, the dude who owns the sword destroyed like some super powerful thingamadoo. I don't know. And
Like a
then
dragon or something.
it was
It's the
something.
overpowered item that he chose. He
Right.
was resurrected.
He is the only
It's
person that can
the-
use the sword, and it is
a
incredibly
cursed sword that only he
strong.
can use.
And he steals it and sells it.
Yes.
Yeah, so Cosmo just sells it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't use it? Okay, I'm just
All right. Then our last episode that we watched this past 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know. We took a while.
However many. However many.
Our Devil King's general shows back up, which we didn't mention. He is headless. He carries his head around.
Yes.
And his horse is also headless. So
He's the headless horseman.
is the horseless headsman, actually. So he shows
Was
up
it?
and he's
That was
like,
bad. Rough. Please. I didn't like
he shows
it. Anyway.
up and he's like, what the hell, guys? I literally like cursed your friend to kill her and you're still doing explosion magic? And he's like, well, okay. I thought we stopped, but apparently Megumin kept going every other day and Aqua carried her back. And it's like, well, you guys are all terrible people. You didn't even come to save your friend. Then out walks Darkness, who's completely fine. Then they just have a stupid fight with nothing really going on. Aqua decides to unleash like Poseidon's fury on him.
No,
and flood
hold
the
up.
entire world.
What happens is there's like
they figure out he's weak to water.
well,
so
well, no, because there's a handful of like the normal fighters that go attack him, and he kills them really easily. And Darkness is like, oh no, so she has to go have a fight with him where
you wanna
she's
go
just
into
getting
this.
bullied and getting beat up, and she's enjoying it, of course, because
She starts screaming back, he's gonna beat me up. He's gonna make me his plaything. He's gonna rip off my clothes and have his way with me. And he's just sitting there, the Devil King's general going,
no, I'm not.
no, I'm
No.
not. Don't. No, you can go. You can go. I don't want it.
This is not what
wanna
I'm
be a part
trying to
of this.
do.
Like, that's not me. That's not how I want to work.
And then there was something about how she was happy to something about the men that sacrificed blah. Was that at the end? Was at the end.
I was at the end.
So
Yeah.
Anyway, they
we'll get
figure
back to
out-
that later.
he is weak to water. So Aqua finally does something useful and just creates water, but like
She unleashes flood magic.
yeah. Just
And the problem with the flood magic
exactly
is
what it sounds
floods,
like.
It floods the whole battlefield and destroys the front gate of the town.
it destroys the front wall of the
Yes.
town, not just the gate. The gate is
So-
of course gone too, but literally like just so much of the
This
wall
ends up,
is turned into rubble.
This ends up weakening him enough that Cosmo is able to use his steel skill on the enemy, and rather than steal his sword or something like that, he steals his head,
yes.
Mhm.
which they then proceed to play soccer with, and then Aqua ends up purifying him. So because he's so weak and beaten up with those.
No, it was like a turn undead. It was a turn undead.
Yeah, which is a purification.
No, it's
It was that's a purification
your
spell in this.
purification spell. Okay,
No, I'm
that's
not.
fine.
I'm
Doesn't
actually
matter.
quite cursed.
Either way, the Demon King's general is defeated, and then they're like, "Oh, we did great." Oh wait, the wall is completely destroyed.
Yeah, they
So-
got like $300 million but the wall cost $330 million to fix.
So they're still in debt.
They're
by, like,
actually
a
like
lot.
super in the hole.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hilarious. So like
Which
the,
is it shows you kind of the trend that the show gets into, which is they do something and get incredible wealth, and it's almost immediately taken away.
yes, because they fuck up so many things along the way. So basically,
Like-
like the more
Well,
the
they cause so much. They end up causing so much collateral damage around them. Like they get the job done, but they destroy everything around them in the process, and they have
Yeah.
to pay to refix it. So it's,
yeah, there's
By the end of the first season, they have like a mansion and stuff, and it's all fine. And like the first episode of the second season, the government reclaims everything inside the mansion. Like it's great. So
got it.
they're just constantly getting screwed over.
So like the lowdown and the short version is this dude gets isekai'd into a magical town or into a magical land and ends up surrounded by like psychopath, useless idiots
It's a
as
sitcom.
his sidekicks.
It's a sitcom.
Yeah.
it's a comedy sitcom. It's supposed to be outlandish and funny, kind of over top, which is why our characters are very much over.
Yes.
Yep.
It's ridiculous and hilarious. I love how she
And-
pukes rainbows.
That is a
That is
that's a
hilarious
Japanimation thing.
because she is
So-
a really is that not?
Yes, it's to help with
it's a
censorship.
censorship.
So
Oh, okay.
vomit is something that's censored in Japan. Or not, it knocks you up.
A
Basically,
rating.
I got you.
so they want to keep the show at a certain rating because they want to appeal to people
Broader crowds.
and keep it on at certain times of day rather than later at night. That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing we do here. So rather than having puke, they have rainbows.
Got it. So is that like always what they do?
It's not always, but if you pay attention, you'll start seeing it a lot more.
Yeah, it's one
Okay.
of the things that animes do, like the rainbow thing. They'll cut away from showing actual violence and blood instead, like show shadows.
Got it.
They'll use like blacking the screen in areas or adding or other
That's-
things. Like those are other things they do.
That's something that JoJo's does a lot because in the more recent seasons, they do a lot of stabbing with hands. Like you just reach into someone and pull out their organs, and they just black out the areas where the contact would be.
Got
They
it.
still show blood and stuff, but they don't show as much gore, so they don't go up a rating.
Yeah,
Understandable.
there is a show where it's a sci-fi show. We've never looked at it. Where humans are sent to Mars to help take back the planet because what had happened is that they had sent modified insects to the planet to help, help with colonization and help terraform the world. And they had mutated into these terrifying beings. So the government ends up doing is they end up genetically altering some people, then sending them to Mars. And the show is insanely violent, like and gory. And there's scenes where there's so much blackening of the screen, you have like maybe a finger's width around the eyes. Like that's how much they censor out that show. Like it's
That happens.
Well then,
Mhm.
interesting.
So, did you like this show more the second time around?
Yeah,
you're a little more
actually,
used to- yeah.
for several reasons. One of
Mhm.
which, the fact that I started listening or watching the dub, so I could actually pick up
I wa-
on,
I watched the dub this time too.
like, I actually understand the fucking language, and I'm able to pick up on sarcasm and how their
Yeah, the
tones,
tone,
their tone
yeah.
of voice is totally different, which
Mhm.
you just don't get it listening to Japanese because I don't understand if you're able
It
to
is
pick up
harder
on
to
that.
distinguish if you're
I-
not a native speaker.
I
If
don't.
you're not a native speaker or if you're not
Completely
used to it. Like
lost.
I watch
Mhm.
like I've watched Japanese like TV shows and movies since I was a kid. So I've been watching them for over 20 years. So I'm pretty familiar with how they speak.
Yeah.
Tonal wise.
And like I was able to pick it up watching it because while it is more difficult for me than it would be for you, Konosuba, even in like the Japanese dub, like they really go out of their way to accentuate.
Yeah,
They
no,
make
that's
sure that
I
you know
don't
they're
pick- I
being
can't pick up on
sarcastic or that.
I can't pick up on
And
any of that.
it's still harder in
It's
another language.
Yeah,
So
of
if
course.
there's a
Yeah.
dub available, it's way easier. And yeah, you'll enjoy it more because you're getting more comedy more than humor at that point.
Yes.
And, the Konosuba dub is actually one that people really like
Yes,
because
they did a good job on it.
they did a very, very good job on it. There's a lot of shows I've watched where the dub is subpar. The Konosuba one, they either the jokes that don't translate, they write in new ones that work just as well.
Yes,
They do it great.
which is nice because it's important for jokes to land if you want a show to be funny, and this is
Right.
supposed to be a
Well, because like also in like the OVA dub for Konosuba, they're like sitting there and they use like a bunch of different words for boobs in the Japanese one, but it just says boobs like 8 times for the
Yes.
subtitle. But in the English one, it's like, Wiz, I was looking at you and all I could think is, you have a massive pair of knockers. I mean, seriously, those are some big honkers. And it's like, okay, like they just went off the rails with it. They had a good time, and it shows.
Yeah. Did Discord just die?
not that I know.
No?
Oh, okay. All right. You guys were just quiet for a minute. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, this continues to be a show that I'm looking forward to more seasons of. It's very funny. It's super well animated. It's well voice acted, both English and Japanese.
Have you seen the movie yet?
I haven't seen the movie yet. I gotta watch that.
I feel like we
I do
should.
too.
When is the movie?
The movie, it came out in Japan, or it came out last month.
Yep.
And it aired in theaters in the U.S. But
What is
so,
it?
like,
Is it
now
like
you can-
after episode, or is it after season 2, or?
Yeah, it's after.
Yes.
So it's after season 2. It's the next arc.
Got it.
So this is an easy recommend show.
Mhm.
For reasons, it's very funny.
Here, I'll be right back.
The humor is very tongue in cheek
Yeah.
type of thing.
It's very much over the top. It's like
It is
the amount of times you see Aqua's ass is just like it's unbelievable. And like just
Yes,
all of the
there's
characters, like there's so many.
there's a lot.
There
of,
is so much fan service in this shit. Like it's
there is, and it's pretty much all in service of comedy too, which is
yes.
If you're gonna
which-
do it, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Unlike something like High School of the Dead, where you've got boobs defying physics to dodge a bullet independent of one another because it's the thing that happens, like in slow motion. Like
God damn it.
that's a shot
Sounds
in that
so
show.
bad. It sounds so bad.
That show is awful.
Don't make me ever watch that one, please. Please no.
I don't wanna.
I don't want to.
um,
Okay.
But that's not like
It's presented
that-
in it's like
it's-
supposed to be ridiculous, which
Yes,
I
this
didn't
is-
get the first time because like I was saying before, like it's like there's so
You were
many people
missing the
like
tone,
you
yeah.
dubs, but it's like shush, just let me enjoy my dubs because I actually get the humor and I understand the tone of voice, and I
Yeah,
get
they're
but you
useful
can pick up
for
on the
some things.
sarcasm and like without it, it's not as fun.
yes, and our main character in the show is extremely sarcastic, so it's
Yeah.
very important to be able to pick up on that. Because
Like
he's
you
not,
could also talk about how like that one point where like Kazuma, and he's like, yep, that's my name, and then somebody else is like Kazuma, he's like, yep, that's my name, Kazuma, yep, that's my name. I wouldn't have picked up on that. I would have read the subtitle and like heard them speaking in Japanese and been like, oh, okay, whatever. It wouldn't have registered the same. The same way with like the episode where she's purifying the fucking water and she's just sitting in the water pouting because she's supposed to purify the water just by sitting. And he's like, I feel like a tea bag. And then as soon as the alligators show up, she starts doing it
starts freaking the
actively.
fuck out.
She's
Yeah.
just like, she starts actively like touching the water, be like, purification. It's like, it's hilarious. And I wouldn't have fucking picked that up if I was watching the dub or the sub titled. Like,
Then how,
it's just not how stuff works.
how
It's
she
not
was
how I pick up
afterwards,
on
where she's
stuff.
like, I don't want to get out of the cage. Safety. Like,
But yeah,
so yeah, I think Dale enjoyed this show this time, which is good.
surprising as well. I don't know, maybe not surprising, but I don't know.
There's a reason one of the shows I want to watch is it's another isekai.
Please,
I
no.
know, I know.
God damn it.
But
Is
it's another one that is not taking itself seriously.
I can't. There's
know.
so many of them.
I know,
We've
there's
literally
there's a
no.
lot
There's
of
too
isekais
fucking many.
like
There's so many. We need to find other
because
shit.
we are in the season of isekais.
I don't
this
care. I
Is
don't
what it
care.
is. These
I
are the
don't
shows that are
want to
coming
watch
out
anymore.
because
At least for a
This is
while.
this is what it was back in the 90s with mecha shows, right? And then zombie stuff. Like this is what it was. Like it's just here's more of this stuff you've seen.
Yes.
Uh,
Okay.
Now, there is another show that is supposed to be really good that is out currently. The only thing about it is that it's a little bit furry.
It's a little bit what?
Furry. As in Dave Case loves it. You know, that type of furry. So
I mean, honestly, I'm looking through the episode. It's been a bit longer since the last time we did an isekai show, actually.
yeah, it actually has been.
It hasn't been that.
No,
bad.
there's just so many of them right now because
There's so many. I feel like I just feel like I've seen
of-
so many of them.
You have, because half of what's being produced right now is isekai because that's the hot topic.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, what, like 5-10 years ago when all the zombie games were coming out everywhere and people
Yeah.
were like, oh my god,
Look,
zombie
I
games.
really like zombie games, though. I'm not gonna lie. If there was a massive zombie game resurgence, I'd be down for at least a little bit.
But do you really like zombie games in 2012 after we had 18,000 zombie games release?
That's what
Yeah,
I'm. That's
that's
what I'm
the-
saying. Like I like.
Like it's an overdone thing, and anime tends to go through that cycle as well,
I mean,
just
everything
like any
does.
other entertainment form.
everything
So
does.
right now it's isekai. It used to be mecha. It was like they've gone through like magical girl. They've gone through mecha. They've gone through, you know, all this different
This is the
broad
isekai
strokes.
resurgence.
Right now we're in isekai. Judging by what's coming out in the types of isekais that are coming out, we're at the tail end of it though.
100%.
Because
we're getting wild.
We're getting wild, like the wild, weird, kind of wacky stuff. So that's usually what happens at the tail end of a push for this type of genres, which is great because some of the better shows tend to come out of these weird stuff. Like there is one that is basically what people are calling the new Konosuba, because it doesn't take itself seriously in the same type of vein. It's the one where the guy gets transported to the world and then suplexes the princess and opens a pet store.
Yeah.
That one, right? People are loving that show. Now, if you don't want to do an isekai, I do have a recommendation. Called B-Stars.
Okay.
So
B
this is
stars.
apparently supposed to be B-Stars. Here, I'll put it in here.
Okay. So is it about a bunch of famous bees? No. Or
No. So what they basically did is they took the word beast and stars and stuck them together. So we have B-Stars.
got it.
So the plot summary for this one is in a world populated by anthropomorphic animals, herbivores and carnivores coexist with each other. For the adolescents of Cherryton Academy, school life is filled with hope, romance, distrust, and uneasiness. The main character is Rogoshi. I don't know how to pronounce that. Who is a wolf and a member of the drama club. Despite his menacing appearance, he has always had a very gentle heart. Throughout most of his life, he's always been an object of fear and hatred by other animals, and he's been quite accustomed to that lifestyle. But soon he finds himself becoming more involved with his fellow classmates, who have their own share of insecurities, and finds his school life slowly changing.
Oh,
And then
is this like stop motion?
And then there's a murder.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, the animation in this is very, very different. I'm pretty sure the animation in this is 100% CGI.
It's CG. This looks like stop motion.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of the animals in this are CG. It's a very, very different take on animation, like what we would normally see for animation. Apparently, the show is supposed to be super good. It's one of the breakout hits people have been saying of the season. And it's supposed to be well animated as well, which is not something you would normally associate with a CG show. But looking at it, I would say, yeah, it definitely is.
Huh.
So that's something we can look at because it's outside of our normal wheelhouse of things we've been looking at late, and it's also apparently supposed to be pretty popular.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't care. We can do whichever one.
Oh yeah, no, this is like 3D CG.
Yeah, it's neat
Yes.
looking. Yeah, which people who are listening to this can't see, but trust us.
I'm browsing, checking pieces of it out. This is Dale would like this. He's a furry.
Oh, he's in the Dave camp, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
That
All right,
is
so I say we go.
that is not at all true. But
I
that's
literally
okay.
see a naked bunny on my screen, and it's weird.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm
So
scared.
yeah, I say we go with this and see how it goes. So this should be interesting.
All right.
Aside from
Okay, so fun
Konosuba,
fact,
which,
this is coming to hit North America in 2020 on Netflix.
Oh, so it's not
It's-
available.
It's not on
Oh, no,
Netflix now.
It's. I think that if we want to do it, we should wait because what it seems like is it's a Netflix series.
okay, it's one of the ones that Netflix bought.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
releasing week to week in Japan, but it's not out yet in the US.
Okay.
So we'll wait on that just to make it easier for people
Yeah.
to follow along when it comes out on Netflix. So is the other one available though? Is the
What's
question.
the thing?
We
What's
can
the other one?
always go to ReZero and finish our Isekai quartet.
Could. And ReZero is a good show.
ReZero is a really good take on Isekai.
Yes, it's another one of the ones where it's a different take on things.
That's what I like is like ReZero, Overlord, Konosuba, and Tanya were all different takes on Isekai, and they just kind of threw them together. So you have all these real interesting and weird characters.
Yeah, I'm up for doing that. And then
That's
our next
fine. Where
episode,
can we
which
watch ReZero at?
That's a Crunchyroll one.
because after
'Cause after we do that, then we can watch Isekai Quartet.
yes, which will probably round out the year for the podcast, I'm guessing.
I feel like that would be a really good like ending, you know?
Yeah, because I assume that we're not going to be doing.
Because that would
Um,
also be peak Isekai, and then we don't have to do Isekai forever.
Like if we look at a calendar, next week is the 22nd. After that's the 29th, right? And
That'd be a perfect end.
Yeah.
Do we
So-
want to do that?
That's fine.
Yeah, I say we do that. Works out great. Rounds out the year.
Never done with isekai. Yeah, you might be right, Chero. We might not ever be done with isekai. Okay, so we're gonna do
None
that.
of us will ever be done with Isekai.
And then we
No,
start the next.
there's-
We start the next year doing the fucking stupid isekai quartet, and Comfy can be happy.
No, we end the year with Isekai Quartet.
Yeah, we've got 2 weeks left.
We got 2 weeks left, so
got
it'll
you.
be the perfect ending
Okay.
because we have been doing a lot of Isekai over the past couple months, and this season has been the Isekai season.
Okay, that's fine. That'll work.
So
We can plan
Alright.
that out.
The other thing we have to talk about is we have 2 episodes of Vinland Saga because me and Dale didn't watch episode 21 yet.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch.
I may or may not have watched it this morning.
Yeah. Okay, so what was
and-
the? God,
And
did I
here's
watch Vinland Saga?
episode,
Did I? I think I did.
I would assume you did.
I think I did. Maybe I forgot. I don't remember. What happened in the episodes that I totally probably watched? Copper.
So in episode 19,
Uh-huh.
We have the ending of the fight, and
yes,
we get backstory of Thor's and Thorkel. So we find out who
Okay, yep. I saw this one.
what the relationship is. It turns out that Thorkel is actually Thorfinn's uncle,
Yes.
Mhm.
because he is the great uncle, because he's the brother of his mother's dad. So he's
Yeah.
actually a lot older than I thought he was. Like this
Yeah,
makes
no.
Thorkel pretty old.
easily 50-60.
Yeah, which is surprising because I thought maybe he's in his 30s, earlier 40s. Nope.
Mhm.
Turns out he's actually pretty up there.
Mhm.
So it turns out that Thor's was such a good warrior that he rose to the ranks of the Viking
Jom's
order. He was with the Vikings, and he was honored by their leader, Thorkel's brother, with his daughter. So he's like, "You're such a good such a good person. I'm grooming you to take over from me. So to keep this in the family type thing, you're going to marry my daughter." He marries, his daughter. They have a kid, which is Thorfinn's sister.
Yes, because Thorfinn was the younger sibling.
He wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
So after that point, Thor's decides he's done with war, wants to stop. This is not the way of true warriors, as far as he's concerned. Does this whole disappearing into the sea thing. You find out that he didn't get away scot clean. What happened is that when he went back to the village that he's from, well, city really, Thorkel was actually sleeping on his roof. And
because people were trying to basically like rob Thor's stuff because he was dead.
Yeah.
And Thorkel was like, this guy deserves more respect than any of you will ever get. I'm going to protect this with my life.
Yeah, and he didn't really believe that Thor's was dead, even though they had a funeral for him, and he cried and was sad about it, like, because that was basically his best friend and someone that he really looked at as an example of an actual warrior who is stronger than him, which is something he had never met.
But it was that whole, you couldn't have died from just that.
Yeah, he was
right. Enough to kill you.
He's like, I didn't think you died from that. You wouldn't drown. So he's sleeping up there. He's drinking and drunk. And he sees two people coming out of, Thor's house, and he assumes they're thieves. But normally he's like, I wouldn't give a shit normally, but this place, I'm gonna teach you a lesson. And then he finds out it's Thor's and his wife, and they have their baby with them. He argues with them. Thor ends up knocking him out.
Mm-hmm. and then Thor drops his famous line of, "A real warrior can fight without a sword."
Yes,
which
makes him angry, but then knocks him out. So we find out from that, and then from that point, we go back into the fight because it turns out Thorfinn had basically broke his arm, so he's got one arm latched to him. He's still trying to fight, and Askeladd decides, okay, we need to win this because I don't want to die.
So then he gives him the secret way to defeat Thorkel that he knew the whole fucking time that like you could hit him in the ear.
So
Jesus Christ, why wouldn't you just led with that? Because you're an asshole. That's why.
He tells Thorfinn, because Thorfinn probably wouldn't have listened before this point. So Thorfinn's
a very proud person,
and he's very angry and he hates Askeladd. So he finally swallows his anger enough to listen, does what he's told, knocks Thorkel out.
Yes, and
gouges out his eye.
Yeah, fuck! I kind of forgot about that.
His men don't react in the proper way to a duel.
Yes, so they tackle Thorfinn and are gonna kill him, and then Thorkel wakes up and is pissed beyond belief.
What the fuck are you guys doing?
Right?
Are you kidding me?
He's like, you're interfering in my duel. How the fuck dare you? 2, if he killed me in fighting, great. I die a warrior by someone who's obviously better than me. There's nothing better than that. This is how I feel.
Which is what Thorkel is literally Thorkel's entire MO at this point is to find a warrior stronger than him to beat him in battle.
That's
That's pretty much what he's going for. That's why he was so distraught when Thor's disappeared, because he wants to get to the next level.
Yes, he wants to get to the next level.
He wants to be stronger.
And if he can't get there, remember, for a Viking warrior,
Valhalla.
To get to Valhalla, you have to die in battle.
No,
no one can beat
that's
you.
That's the main way.
Battle,
that's the easiest way to get there.
And you die of old age. And remember, it turns out Thorkel's really fucking old, especially for this time period. He doesn't want to die of old age or sickness or something like that, because then he goes to hell. That's not good. So he's like, I need to find someone who can actually kill me in battle. And so he loses his shit, berates his men, and then he does something surprising. He's like, all right, because the prince shows up during this when he's arguing with his men. The prince shows up. He's like, hey, I'm here. I'm not running away anymore. And so they have a little bit of a chat, and Thorkel's like, okay, I'm going to throw my lot in with you because you're going to go fight your dad. And that's what I wanted to do in the first place.
Right.
Yeah,
So
no,
remember how I called that? I
great.
totally called that shit, didn't I?
Yeah, no, you did.
So now we have Askeladd is acting as an advisor to the prince. He actually admits the fact that he killed Conehead. And
Oh
the
yeah,
prince is-
he does come out right out and
Prince
tell him.
accepts it. He's like, yeah, no,
the prince
I
is
get it.
mad, but he accepts it. He's like, okay, I
Yeah.
don't like that you did that. I'm not sure I trust you, but okay.
Mhm.
Takes him as an advisor, takes Thorfinn under as,
His
as one of his men as well, takes Thorkel's men and himself, and they go off to see his father, which is
Yeah.
where we get to the next episode. So they arrive
I
there.
did see that episode too. Look at that. I did watch the show. See, I knew it.
Well, you watched these two.
Yeah.
So they arrive there. It's the Yalm's Vikings. It's our treacherous guy who ended up getting Thor's murdered in the first place.
Loki.
And he's like, "Oh, I didn't think it was you because, like, I thought it was actually a trick. I'm sorry for pointing bows at you and meeting you with guards and an army. Please
Yeah.
don't kill me."
Oh man, who could have seen it coming?
Because that's actually a giant offense in their society because he's still the crown prince. So, they get into the camp. They're like, okay, we're obviously not strong enough to attack my father now. We need to gather troops, gather information. Sends Thorkel off to go mingle with people because everybody loves this guy. And
I
gather as
mean,
much
he's a
information
pretty
as he
fun
can.
guy. You could just drink with him a lot, and then he'll
And
tell
he's
you
like, I'll
fun
pay for everything. And they're like, the three of us are going to go
stories,
see my dad. So they get to
I loved this scene so much.
the log house, longhouse where his dad is, his little,
His
throne-
throne room,
Yes.
essentially.
throne room away
Yeah.
from his normal throne room.
Yeah.
And they open the doors, and immediately they stop and don't let the prince enter because they're like, Askeladd's like, "Do you sense it? Like, do you?" He's like, he's like, "Yeah, there's some along the
Like,
sides, and there's archers
20
up top."
guys, archers up top, hiding behind the curtains, like
He's like, "This is obviously a trap. If we go in here, they're gonna murder us." And the prince is like, "Well, we're going in." It's like, no matter what you do not draw your weapons
Yes.
because the first person to draw their weapons in this situation loses.
Yeah.
So they end up going in alone, approaching and then kneeling down. They start talking with his dad, and it's a very tense conversation where they're talking about, how basically he was supposed to die, and his dad's like, "Yeah, it's kind of a thing." And his dad is needling them throughout this whole conversation. And he ends up needling Askeladd with calling him the son of a slave.
yeah.
And it makes him super mad, but he doesn't act on it. He clamps
Because
down in his
Askeladd's
anger.
only good relation with anyone at this point has been with his mother, who was a slave woman.
Yes.
So
And
he
that's why
clamps-
he hates like the Danish and everything. So
he clamps down on his anger and doesn't act on it, which is a lesson to Thorfinn that I think was probably overlooked by a lot of people. Because remember, Thorfinn gets mad super quick,
really,
He
really
kind of
is
has
not-
a temper. If only his dad would.
which is
kind of,
fine. It's fine to have a temper.
help him
Askeladd
put that
apparently
in
has
check.
a temper as well, but Askeladd controls and channels his anger, which is
Yeah.
something Thorfinn doesn't do. So Thorfinn sees him get more angry than he's ever seen him get, and he's been with this guy for like 10 years at this point, right?
Something like
And
that.
just
More than
controls
that,
anger,
I
and
think,
then-
actually.
Well, yeah, a little over, probably around 10 to 12 years he's been together.
Something
It's-
like that. I think we did
Thorfinn's
them.
age is
We did
still
them.
up in the air.
We think he's like
I
a
think he's
17,
17.
something like
Yeah,
that.
he's around 17,
Yeah,
maybe 18
we-
at this point.
I know that
It's hard to
the
tell.
next episode starts and it says that it's 10:14.
So he's less than 20, but most of his time he's spent with that, and he's
Right.
never seen him get this angry, but he still clamps down his anger and, basically asks the king for permission to talk, ends up convincing, the king that this isn't the way to go about it because the guards have basically reacted by this point. He's like, this is bad. This is what you should be doing because, this is how the crown should work. The king's like, okay, you've made a good point. He's like, you guys can go. We're gonna throw you a feast at this place here. I'll see you there. And then he leaves, and they're allowed to leave. And when we cut to the king when he's walking through and with his guards, he remarks that Askeladd is a very dangerous person that he needs to keep an eye on. For good reason, because
Yeah, being clever is really dangerous.
yes, being clever and being able to control your anger, even though you're rationally mad, is a huge thing, right?
Big plus.
Because he's already a known warrior. It also turns out that Askeladd is not his actual name; it is a nickname because he was never actually given a name because he's the son of a slave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I guess I didn't pick up on that.
And apparently, it means like covered in ashes or something like that. Is what his name,
Really?
like the name he has, means.
Cool. Because he's gonna burn this place down. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well,
But-
he may have burned down his father's home too. Like
Yeah.
that might have how he escaped with his mother, right? Because he did
Maybe.
take his mother back to her homeland.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's another very interesting thing. I'm curious to see where this is going because it's now getting very political in certain manners.
As someone who
prince-
watched the next episode, oh man, it gets political.
I liked
the
it.
prince has basically determined that I'm going to be king, and which means if I have to kill and remove people as much as like to do so, that's fine because I'm going to build heaven on earth here and fuck God. Like he's so angry at God. Then it cuts back to them having a conversation in a meat hall where Thorkel's basically meeting with a bunch of people and drinking, and they start having a conversation at the top. And Conehead's brother comes in,
Conehead 2.0.
yeah, and starts talking with them. Askeladd's like, I don't think he's really as loyal to the prince as he makes out to be. He really doesn't seem like it. He seems like a kind of a Weasley character is kind of how he came off to me.
Oh, at 100%.
So, and they're like, well, we can't have secret, discussions right here. And they're like, it's fine. Nobody's actually listening to us. They're all involved in the fact that there's a drinking game going on where someone keeps drinking everybody else on their table. It turns out it's the priest. They're like, what? Because he doesn't look anything like he used to.
Because he actually fucking
You're
shaved.
like shaved and everything.
He's like, you're so young looking. He's like, well, I'm only 23. And they're like, what? He's like, I just shaved.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
he
it-
legit
it's
looked like he
pretty
was an
funny.
old fucking man because he was so ragged and
And he was so depressed all the time.
yeah, you don't got to be old to be that.
Oh, man, tell me about it.
Oh no.
That's kind of where that leaves off is right there. So it's
Yeah.
a couple of another really good episodes.
Yeah, no, he's
I'm
really good.
super curious though because we're now on.
The show keeps like
that's-
changing how it's playing out, and I really like it.
Yeah, that's episode 20. Now, in
4
shows that
episodes
are,
left.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, do we only have actually 4 episodes left in this season,
In this season, yes.
or are they doing something longer? Because we know that's possible too. I don't know. I really don't know because this show is all on Amazon. I don't know what they're doing with it. Like,
Couldn't tell. Well, we'll just have to
I'll be right back really quick.
play it by ear. But yeah, at this point, this is episode 22 of Vinland Saga. No.
yes,
or
we're
20.
21 and 22 are out. That was just 20,
Yeah.
episode 20.
We've been
So
covering
we
this
have
show
the
for like
topers.
what, 3 months now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, 4
it's cool.
episodes, 4 episodes a month. So what, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. That's 5 months.
Yeah. Okay.
So at the end of this month, it'll be 5.5 because where the show started at. So yeah, it's maybe longer. No,
Yeah.
longer because there was a couple of breaks. There was a couple of weeks where they didn't have an episode.
Got it.
So yeah, it'll be about 6 months that we've covered the show. It's a very good show though.
It's,
More
yeah,
than
it's
worth
very
watching.
good. We're all just thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah, I do, especially because like I've always I like Vikings and shit. I think they're pretty cool. Like the whole Nordic culture is fun to me.
I'd say it's probably like easily the best show produced this year.
Maybe.
I can't think of anything that really competes with it. Like of anime, that is, like, because there's things like The Mandalorian and that are up there as well. So,
Yeah, that shit's great. We just watched the newest episode yesterday.
oh, you did? So you got to see Bill Burr?
Yeah. Yeah, I was not prepared for Bill Burr. I love Bill Burr. He's actually my favorite comedian.
Yeah, that's why we were laughing the other day when you mentioned, oh, I love. Started about the. That's
you
why, 'cause,
did
like,
this Discord cut out. What now? You were
so when you were talking about like you mentioned the other day when we were doing the Jackbox stuff that you loved Bill Burr, and we all started talking about the Mandalorian. We're like, oh, you should really watch the new episode. That's why, because we knew Bill Burr was in it, and we didn't want to tell you and spoil it for you that he was in it because you said you love him. So we're like, oh, well, I'll be surprised.
Got it. No, yeah, it was a great episode. And also, Cherry says it's confirmed 24 episodes.
24 episode?
Yeah. Yep.
For this season? Okay.
I assume.
I wonder how long it's going to take them to make another season.
I don't know.
Well, some shows that are really popular get turned out super quick for the next season.
Yeah, some do.
So it's going to be interesting for sure. But yeah, The Mandalorian is great if people have been watching that. If you're looking for something else to watch, this newest episode was awesome because it was kind of like a prison break heist episode with that like revenge twist to it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
The cameos in this episode were kind of nutty. So there are 4 notable cameos in that episode of The Mandalorian. The human who's on their prison ship when there wasn't supposed to be a person there, that is the actor who plays Anakin Skywalker in the cartoons. That's his voice actor.
Okay, that's cool.
He has like the most hours logged as
I didn't realize
Anakin Skywalker. That. He's basically Anakin Skywalker.
I don't want to get too spoilery with The Mandalorian though. So
and the 3 pilots you see at the end. You remember?
Yeah, okay.
Those 3 pilots are all the directors of previous episodes.
Oh, cool. That's neat.
So
cool.
I just did a little bit of research. Vinland Saga is currently only confirmed for 24 episodes. We don't have a second season. And they also, the writer and Wit have decided to rewrite some of the manga for episodes 20 through 24 to make it so that this season can be enjoyed independently and not require anything else.
So they're not sure if they're going to get another season. That's what that's saying to me.
That they said that the writer said that they want to do more and that the show has a lot of hype, so it's very possible that they'll do more.
But if not, they want to have it wrapped up.
He doesn't want it to require more. He wants it to be
he wants to wrap it up. Yeah, just in case.
Got it.
Can't come to a deal. That makes sense. That's actually good because he's probably one of those people who, like a lot of anime fans, hates those cliffhangers. So he's like, I'm going to do a little bit of rewrite. We can wrap this up a little bit with a bow, but still leave room to explore more here if we actually get a second season.
Cool.
Here I am still waiting for Stone Ocean.
That felt like how they wrapped up The Last Jedi. Or not The Last Jedi. Fucking Fallen Order. Jesus Christ.
It's wrapped up with a bow, but they can still come back to that area because their hands are a little tied with Fallen Order because they can't do too much because it's set in a time period where there's certain events have to occur. So.
Right. Yeah.
And it has to be regarded as canon.
Yes.
So
they've got a fine line to walk.
Yeah.
But
are they doing DLC for that game?
I would imagine not.
Confirmed. They did actually, not for that game, but Outer Worlds just confirmed that they'll be working on DLC.
That's not surprising.
Yeah, they got a couple of awards at the Game Awards, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah, I didn't really watch the Game Awards, or there's a lot that I missed.
The only thing that really matters to me, Destiny won Best Ongoing Game, Best Community Interaction, and Sekiro won Game of the Year, which I didn't expect, but it definitely deserved.
No, nobody expected that. Everybody expected to be Death Stranding.
I really hoped it wouldn't be Death Stranding because while I do really enjoy Death Stranding, I think it's great. If that won, it would have 100% been because
just because of the name behind it.
Kojima's name is tied to it.
It's because his name, and he's the guy who runs the Game Awards, is friends with them. So I'm glad it didn't. So
but I know Jeff Keighley is very clear about we are doing so much effort to make sure that this is fair and not biased in any way.
Best ongoing game was Fortnite.
I read through it a lot because people like to throw shade at them for a lot of that. They put an entire wiki up about how their voting works, and we're completely clear about everything and all that stuff.
So Cherry was right.
Fortnite, not Destiny.
Fortnite was the best ongoing game. Destiny won the best community managers.
Yeah.
Community management is the team who won for Destiny, which is great because
Yeah.
those guys like Deej, Cosmo, and everybody else who works for community management are amazing people. And
Absolutely.
they put up a lot of crap because the Destiny community can be extremely salty.
Literally, so somebody posted on there was a post on the Destiny subreddit that was like, hey, congrats to Bungie for winning this award at the Game Awards. Like, super proud of you guys. It's awesome that you did that. And then the first comment on it was somebody posting along, like, you guys, like, the community team has done so much work. Like, you've dealt with so much garbage from us, and like, you've been so clear and concise, and you take our feedback and you interact with us online and try to set our expectations reasonably. Which, man, if you guys know like how hard it is to set expectations for people, because they walk a really fine line, because they can't say, oh yeah, this is coming, because if they say something's coming, then it has to show up.
Yeah,
they have, and they did a Deej and Cosmo and DMG have all done a really good job, and I've met them all in real life. They're all super nice people, incredible guys. The first comment was that. The comment on top of that was, yeah, they took our feedback and threw it directly in the garbage, just immediately shitting on them.
Oh, of course.
And as you can guess,
it's like my ideas weren't used, so obviously they're not listening.
As you can guess, everybody just yelled at that guy like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? But it's like, how do you have to be so blind? Like, I love Destiny, I love the community, but man, some of those guys can be assholes.
Yep. Now, we did have something interesting at the Game Awards this year. So every year they show off new games.
Yes.
Last year, there was a bunch of indie stuff. Nothing really stuck. There was only one standout for me last year that ended up dropping this year as a game, and
Outer Worlds?
Probably my favorite game of the year, Remnant.
Oh, Outer Worlds was also
fun.
revealed.
Remnant's very good.
Remnant was a surprisingly good game.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it had like
a lot of people really good.
It had like no marketing or anything like that. Like and the only time I'd seen it before that was at the Game Awards. That's what put it on my radar. And then when it came out, I'm like, I didn't expect this to be out already. Cool. Turned out it was an incredibly fun game. They're still adding stuff to it, which is awesome.
It's still one of the top on the Steam charts.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's really good.
It's as good as a AAA game without a AAA price.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, there's you can tell. You can tell it's not a AAA game, but it still plays very good. It's a very good game.
There are some bugs.
It does. It lacks the polish. Let's not act like it doesn't.
I shouldn't say it's not a smaller studio. It was a smaller team that made Remnant.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, we got a couple more announcements. A couple of them are actually extremely interesting. I know that's one that has hooked the interest of a bunch of looter shooter fans is that God's game.
Godfall?
That's it.
Yeah.
Godfall, because it's a looter shooter style game that is
looter slasher.
Yeah, that's what people were calling it.
Now it's like a hack and slash game.
It's a hack and slash game, like say Diablo, with apparently that people are hoping that type of loot mechanic, but with third person action.
So
I'd be down. I would play it so much.
Gearbox is also an auxiliary studio on that.
Yes,
they're not the main devs, but they are helping.
Yeah, so it's think Diablo meets Monster Hunter, which is going to be
Monster
very
Hunter
interesting.
style combat, Diablo style and stuff.
It's coming to the new PlayStation system and PC. They showed off, aside from the cinematic they showed off, there is a clip of gameplay out there that's very short that is extremely crispy looking and very interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to talk about crispy? Did you see all the engine rendered things on the X Cube?
No.
Is that the Xbox, the new Xbox?
Yeah, the Xbox Series X was also announced.
Isn't there? There's a Series S as well too, right? So they're doing two.
Well, so no, Xbox is just like, man, I love Microsoft. I'm wearing a Mixer shirt right now.
Whoever names their consoles needs to stop.
So they named the Xbox. That's fine. They named the Xbox 360, and it's like, cool. That's like it's a fine name. What should come after the 360?
Yeah, it was supposed to be revolutionary. They're like, this is revolutionary. We're calling it 360. Okay, yeah, I get that. I understand the marketing here.
Also, fun fact: in the movie, I think it's Real Steel. It was like the Robo fighting movie with Hugh Jackman.
Yes,
They
I like
have-
that movie. Even
They
though it's
have
bad.
they have. Oh, it's a
What?
terrible movie, but
Never
it's
seen
great
it.
to watch.
Have
Sounds
you never
terrible.
seen it? Okay, so
No, I've
Real
never
Steel,
seen it.
it is basically a movie.
It's Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah, think
Okay.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots. It's robot boxing. It stars Hugh Jackman. It's an awful
Wait,
movie.
is it the one where
and it
he
is-
is that the one where he trains the robot to fight better?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Oh
exactly
my
it.
god, I saw the previews for that and I was just like, what? Oh my
So in the,
god.
It is an awful movie, but if you enjoy B movies, watch that movie. It's fucking awesome.
So really funny. One of my favorite things about that movie is in the backgrounds they have like advertisements for stuff in the future, and one of them is Xbox 720.
Yes,
And it
yes,
came out. This movie came out post the Xbox One being announced, but before it was released.
Yep.
So like this movie comes out, it says Xbox 720. It's like, well, okay. So yeah, they did like the Xbox and the 360. 720 would have been a totally fine name. Everybody would have been okay with it.
Yeah.
They went to one. It's like, all right, that's
And now
weird.
they're
It's like
doing the
Xbox-
Series X. It's like
And then they have the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X, and the Xbox Series X.
wait,
Yep.
oh, this isn't the next gen console?
The Series X is the next gen.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. I
it's-
was
it just
But, like-
shares a name with.
It's the naming
other
convention
yes.
is so similar to the Xbox One X. It's ridiculous.
and then there's gonna be the fucking PlayStation. They're like, hey, it's a PS5.
Yeah,
And-
we already know it's called a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Like it's not even like, oh, they're going to like they're going to try to rename it. It's like, no, we already confirmed they're working on PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Like that's what they've called it.
Xbox needs to stop with their naming thing because it's just confusing. It creates confusion for
Yep.
their own brand is the problem. Like it's not even like you're
Yeah.
trying to confuse brands and sales, which is the thing people do. It's you're creating confusion for your own consumers who want to buy your thing and get the newest thing, and
They don't know what to buy. It's stupid.
It's like,
So
call
somebody
it this,
was
start
like-
adding numbers. Like that's
Yeah.
what PlayStation did for a reason. It makes it super easy.
Literally just call it X2.
Yeah.
Like call it the X2.
Look, if it's a cube shape, it's a cube shape
The X cube.
console, right? Just put X with a goddamn cube symbol, like the 2 up in the corner of the X. Bam, you're done. Like
Yeah.
there's your logo. It's X cube. Like
It's they're Copper, man. Let's go into branding.
like sweet. I already do that. Like
I
sweet
know,
Jesus,
that's the
that's the
joke.
easiest thing.
It's so
Dude.
easy. Like, and the thing is too, they like I can already imagine the font and stuff is like because it literally is 2 GameCube stacked on top of each other, painted black. Let's be real. So that was announced. All of the in-engine stuff that they've shown for it is ridiculously beautiful. The trailer that they showed for it, where they like announced it, that was rendered in engine. And they also showed, I think it was like Hellblade 2 in engine, which
Yes.
looked incredible.
I did see shots of that. That game does look really good,
It
which
the-
is
the-
not surprising. The first game looked
Mhm.
amazing. So
Yeah.
better rendering technology, better looking game.
exactly. So I have high hopes for it.
I don't
The
know what they're going to do with that
Xbox-
game though for a sequel.
The Series X, it's a different character's story. I think it's like a prequel.
Alright.
So the Series X also will use peripherals from the one, and it will be able to play games from the OG Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Like they're making it super accessible, no garbage, no BS. Like the branding is not on point, but everything else that they've announced for it is incredibly forward thinking and well done. And man, it looks pretty.
The thing that really caught my attention from the Game Awards, though, which should probably surprise neither of you, was we finally heard some news for the Magic the Gathering MMO.
Yes.
So this MMO has been in production for a long while.
It was one
has-
of those dev hell games, wasn't it?
It
One of those-
wasn't actually. It's never changed developers. It's always been with the same people.
Well, it doesn't need to change developers to be in development hell.
Well, it wasn't even really in development hell. They just weren't sharing any information because Wizards didn't share anything.
Yeah.
So they've just been working on the game quietly for I think like 4 or 5 years now, which is a fair bit of time, but when you're building an MMO, that also makes sense.
I mean, God of War was a 5-year dev cycle.
Yep, it's a good dev cycle for a well-polished game, which is what I'm hoping this comes out as.
Yeah.
So they finally said, here's a cinematic, and you can sign up for the beta. So we're going to be getting information soon. Because people have been clamoring for information from Wizards of the Coast about this game.
People love the world.
The studio that's making it are the same people who made Remnant, which was very surprising to me. So the small team that made Remnant came from the same studio. So I have some good hopes, because if that's the quality of devs they have working for them, but it's a larger team and they've taken time to polish stuff out, this should be a pretty good game, because it's supposed to be action based, so it's not going to be tab targeting, which thank God tab targeting needs to go away for MMOs.
It is not. It is not 2001.
You know what MMO
you
actually had a
don't
really
need
good
tab
combat
targeting.
was ESO.
Yes, ESO's great.
So I'm hoping it's got a good camera angle. I'm hoping we can have lots of customization options for our characters. Because we will be playing planeswalkers, which is great, and traveling around to different planes. So that should be very interesting because of the way Magic lore works. Because you can travel from different worlds to different worlds, you can make completely different biomes in this game that are like radically weird and different from one another, which is awesome. There's also a huge variety of enemy types you can add in. PvP would make sense in this as well. The thing that I'm curious about is how they're going to work with color alignment, because Magic has the 5 colors, but you can kind of mix and match any of them together. So I'm curious to see if that's how that's going to function in terms of alignment for that, for classes, that type of stuff. So I'm curious to see where they're going with this. I want more information. So that's the thing that caught.
That's how I feel about Godfall. There's already so many people that are like, I'm in, and I'm like, I know nothing about it. I'm probably in. Let's be real. You say it's a looter.
It's a slasher, like a looter shooter with melee combat. Yeah, I'm gonna try you.
I'm probably gonna want to try it, but I'm not just gonna blindly be like, I'm buying that. That's the thing that happens all the fucking time. People see these release trailers and they're like, fuck yeah, I want to play it, and I'm just like, calm yourself, relax your face. You know nothing about the game. Just wait until we get some information and maybe see a little bit of gameplay, so you can understand what the fuck you're going to get before you're like all in and like fucking excited. Just chill your face. All right.
Like the game
everybody was super excited for Anthem. There was a pretty good amount of hype for Fallout 76. There was insert thing ever, and please relax your face. It is a thing that needs to stop happening in gaming culture. Like everything gets super fucking overhyped, and then nothing ever lives up to expectations.
That's why I'm looking forward to the beta for the Magic MMO, because that'll give me a taste of the game, right? And MMO betas are usually pretty robust, so you get to see what it's going to be like.
Thank you for listening to my rant.
Like when that came out, when they announced that, I showed the girlfriend. She's like, "No." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "No, I'll never see you. If there's an MMO based on Magic, you're going to disappear. I'll never." I'm like, and I'm signed up for the beta.
Oh, I need to do that. I have to make an account. I need to do that.
You do. It's a very easy thing to do.
Well, yeah, but I know. I just need to do it.
Make an account and wait for info. So and because it's an MMO, they should have a pretty big test pool too, right? So
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
I'm excited for the Temtem early access.
Yes, Temtem comes out. Should be this month.
We'll be able to get into it this month because, well, you backed the Kickstarter. I assume that my copy will still work. I assume. Probably would. I don't see why it wouldn't. It doesn't really make sense as to why it wouldn't. Now, let me open up Steam. Do I still have Temtem? Yeah, I still have the Temtem Alpha. I assume that I can still play it, you know? Excuse me. Temtem's really fun. For those of you that don't know what Temtem is, it's almost like a Pokemon game, but it's going to be an MMO in the same kind of genre, and it's really fun. I played the alpha a pretty good amount. It's a good time.
Which alpha?
Temtem.
That is a game that's coming out.
I am excited. I'm going to be able to get into that this month because I have, thanks to Copper, the Kickstarter access, basically.
For Temtem, if you were not a Kickstarter backer, but you have backed the game previously through Steam and whatnot, it will be going into early access on January 1st on PC. If you are a Kickstarter backer, you do get a head start. So they say, as usual, you'll be among the first ones that'll be able to test the new island and some of the new features coming in early access. We're going to release new content update for the alpha you're already playing on December 12th, which was 3 days ago. And you'll be able to play that for a couple weeks till the early access launches.
Oh, okay. So when the early access launches, is it going to reset everything? Because I want to start new. I want to.
They will probably restart everything come early access.
Because I'm going to pick a different starting Tem. I want to pick the fairy thing because I already.
Yes. So those who aren't familiar, Temtem is a Pokemon-like MMO.
Yes.
They've basically removed all the RNG that Pokemon has. On top of which, they've also made fatigue a thing that your monsters suffer from.
Yes, it's really good. It's really good. Instead of having to manage your power points.
So you can't just spam one monster all the time.
Yeah.
Also, every single battle in the game is a double battle.
Yeah, which is really fun because I remember pairing up. I got a lightning bug that shot electricity, and I had a really powerful move, but it would also hit my ally. So I also discovered I had another Tem who was completely immune to electrical damage, and then I paired them well together. And then the little lightning bug who did electrical damage would hurt everybody, including my ally, but it wouldn't hurt him because he was immune.
But it wouldn't.
It was
it
wouldn't
hurt.
It was a really good synergy, and you don't really get to synergize stuff like that.
And then there's other abilities where they'll have someone does this attack, and then this type of attack afterwards will actually make that attack more powerful because of the other attack that it went. Like there's a lot of things they built into this game. It's way harder than Pokemon.
Yeah.
For anybody who's interested, because they've removed all the RNG. You have to manage things tactically, and if you don't, you're going to lose. And as well as that, things are just more difficult off the start because
it's great. It's like
they wanted to make something hard.
Genuinely had such a good time playing
I'm also curious to see. So, companies are now finally, for some reason, understanding that people really want to MMO. Game Freak is still not making one.
Yep.
Because I don't know why.
Well, Game Freak is allegedly them and the Pokemon Company and Nintendo are trying to push something out every single year, and they're targeting the literal bottom line of market to market to who they're supposed to market to. So they're making it for kids, which kids don't play MMOs, so they're not going to make one.
Yeah. So we do have, aside from Temtem, somebody else is stepping into the ring. So someone is going to be making a MMO based around the concept of things like Pokemon.
It's one of those people that made Sword Art, right?
It is the people behind Black Desert.
That's what I meant, not Sword Art. What the fuck? You know what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Now, Black Desert, aside from issues Endgame can have in that, pay to win types.
You just like the waifu generator. Don't worry. That's his favorite thing.
The gameplay in the game is really good.
I played it for like an hour, and it was cool. Oh, I lost interest very quickly though, because it's a very complicated game. It's holy shit.
It is and Black Desert is extremely.
Yeah,
because it's been a while, right? So they just they've added more and more systems and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Black Desert?
Yeah.
Black Desert's a Korean MMO.
Yeah.
It's complicated regardless.
Yes. It was complicated when it first came out. It's been out for years now, so they've added more applications to it. So
also Black Desert is the MMO with the best combat, actually.
Yes.
And the best waifu creator.
Yes, their character creator is insanely good.
It's actually insane.
I remember when their character creator came out before the game did.
Yes, right.
They released the character.
They did that on purpose. Wild.
Because they showed the character creator and people are like, "That's insane! I want to play with this." So the dev was like, "Well, we're not quite done with the game yet for releasing, but
here you go.
We were able to take the code for the character creator and go, here's this as a thing you can just kind of play around with." And you
I remember they released the video of it, and that's when it blew up the internet. And everybody was like, "Have you heard about this Korean MMO? Yeah, they have the best character creator."
They still do.
Oh yeah, it is the most in-depth character creator. I spent hours on it and barely scratched the surface.
Yeah, it's there's so much you
You
can do
can
in it.
straight up pose your character for custom poses, and I absolutely made mine flipping people off.
Yeah.
Sounds
Which,
about right.
luckily, I know how to animate using Maya and stuff, and this was way easier.
Oh yeah,
It
it's
was-
like you can like pull and drag stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's very straightforward to use.
very,
So-
very posy.
Yeah, so
Very
I'm curious to see
posy.
what they're gonna do with that concept, considering how good, like, because Black Desert is a good game and it looks great. So I'm curious to see what they're gonna make in terms of a Pokemon style MMO. So I'm happy people are finally jumping on that bandwagon, and that's going to be getting.
Yeah, there have been a couple of Pokemon MMOs available online previously, but the problem is that Pokemon is not a super balanced game, and they designed the MMOs around Gen 4. So every single player you ran into used Dragon type Pokemon,
Yep.
and every single person had a Gensect. Like it was, I never actually touched them because I knew that fan stuff like that it gets kind of ridiculous. I have played a lot of custom Pokemon ROMs, which are great.
It does get
But,
ridiculous, and it also gets taken down
Yeah, no, they get taken
Because-
down fast.
because most of them, and the reason why people thought, well, Tamtam's just going to get sued, is because all these other games had gotten sued and shut down because they'd all had previously used assets from the Pokemon game.
Yeah, they were
See,
literally just
they
trying to make a
literally
Pokemon
they
game that.
used Pokemon.
Yeah,
They use Pokemon.
they were
They use
literally-
assets.
yeah.
So
they use
like, you'll
Pikachu and shit. This uses, like I was saying, there's like a lightning
Before
bug. And it's
anybody gets
completely
really,
different.
really mad at Nintendo for suing these people for doing that,
they
if
have
they
to.
don't, their copyright and their trademarks lose value,
Yes.
and it weakens
Not only
their
that, they can lose the ability to hold those copyrights and trademarks.
exactly. They lose the ability to hold it if they let people use it. It's the same
So the-
reason that Google is like, stop saying Google stuff, because
So
they're
it's-
going to lose the ability to trademark their own name.
Well, the problem with Google is that their name is also a word.
It is now.
It always has been. It was a
Yeah.
word before they used it. It's just not a word that was in common use because of what it is.
Yeah.
It's a mathematical term. So
Yeah,
people
like a
didn't use it,
Googleplex.
right? So it's it's a term for a ridiculously high number, like it's a one, so many zeros. So
Damn.
I think
Nobody
a better
Can I have a
one is,
Google of money, please?
Velcro. Velcro has to deal with that because you
yes.
you have Velcro straps.
Yeah,
Which
everybody calls Velcro
it's-
stuff
It's
Velcro,
all Velcro, but it's
not
technically
because
called
Velcro is
hook and-
actually a brand.
Yeah, it's called Hook and Loop. They actually Velcro's lawyers released a song about please stop calling it Velcro. We're going to lose our branding. We're going to lose our trademarks. And they did a lot of cursing in the video too. It was great.
That's kind of hilarious, actually.
But that happens when someone puts out a product that becomes synonymous with that product. That's what happens, right?
If the name becomes synonymous, then it weakens their trademark on it.
Yeah, it weakens their ability to defend it. But as long as they're aggressive in it, they can still do so. Because
Yeah.
as much as people want to say, well, it's part of the common lexicon, it's no, it's a trademark brand. You just don't know any other brands except for them because
Oh yeah, no, they almost hold a complete monopoly on it, but
Oh,
it's
God,
still
yeah.
like they're not the only people that make it. You can go to craft stores and find knockoff Velcro for way cheap.
you can
I
find stuff that's not
guarantee you that-
even like a knockoff that's even more expensive than that works
Yeah.
a little better, but it's more
I
heavy duty
guarantee you,
for different things.
you ask any cosplayer and they'll have like 8 answers for you
Oh yeah.
because that's what they do. Oh man, did anything else happen recently?
Well, we had the launch of the new season in Destiny. That also occurred since we've been gone.
Oh man! Hey guys, do you know who my
And-
favorite character in Destiny lore is?
Comfy's least
Cade
favorite character
6.
came back. Actually, a lot of people's least favorite character came back, and then Comfy also hates, Saint 14 for some reason because he's strange.
Wait, who is
Yeah.
his least favorite character?
Most
he's memeing
people's
about
least favorite character is Osiris. Cyrus is
Why? Osiris is
And
cool.
so, no, okay. Osiris is amazing in the lore, but the problem was with the implementation of Curse of Osiris, Bungie
Yeah.
made
People hate
him
him,
like an idiot
Yes.
because
and
he
people
was
hated him.
he's
and
this
he's back.
incredibly competent in the lore. In the
Mhm.
lore,
Yes.
I'm gonna
Also, can we talk about
differentiate
how
these two.
remember how Bungie was like releasing lore up to the release of the new season, and then the new season
Mm.
kind of contradicted it when you hear some of the dialogue.
It-
It did,
it-
and I was
Not
like,
quite.
"What?" It totally
Not
did because they were
quite.
talking about how they already knew some stuff and how him and like because Ikora sends you to investigate, and Ikora already had a conversation with Osiris in the lore, like,
Well, she
"Hey,
had a
you
very
fucked up.
short
We got to fix
conversation where
this."
he.
The
he
conversation she had was we stopped the moon, and then we stopped the moon, and Osiris was like, okay, cool, click. Like he literally hung up after that.
Yeah, he hangs up. He doesn't actually.
He
talk.
doesn't-
No. There's another one where they talk about having
There
to
is
have a
another
long
one.
talk later.
They have a well, it's not actually all that long. Where she's
No,
like,
no, no.
"We
That
need to have a-"
they imply that they need to have a long talk later, but they have a more
Yes,
in-depth conversation.
They imply that they need to have a long talk. Well, he basically says we need to have a long talk, and he basically outlines the fact that things are a little broken on Mercury, which is why we get sent to investigate. She's sending us to investigate what he was talking about. But he also mentions to her that this is what isn't the only thing that she should be focusing on. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "We'll talk later," and then hangs up on her again because he's
Yeah.
kind of a dick.
So Osiris in the lore was an incredibly competent warlock, one of the most powerful warlocks that ever lived.
And the warlock vanguard leader.
The warlock vanguard leader until he was exiled, the hero of the Battle of Six Fronts, who literally manipulated time so he could fight on all six fronts at the same time.
Yeah,
And
that is something he did.
like these are all really cool things. He went to the Infinite Forest to investigate the Vex and was relatively competent during it. And then just basically Curse of Osiris shows up and he's like, "Oh yeah, I have no control over anything. Oh,
Yeah,
the simulations are running away from me. I can't handle it right now."
He's like, "I'm a Muppet."
He was so poorly written through that entire DLC. There's only one good line in it, which I've said a million times. It was, practice is good, whether you're a god killer or a neophyte. It says, "You sound like Shax." He says, "No, Shax sounds like me."
Like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's the only good line. This season already, he's had more good lines than that entire
Yes,
DLC.
He has good lines. The only good thing in Curse of Osiris was the opening cinematic, where it shows him in like the.
Oh yeah, that was
of
really
Vault of
good.
Glass.
That was
That was
very good.
really good, really
Oh,
well
it was
done, and sets this
amazing.
huge bar, and then they're like,
Yeah.
and we blew our load. See ya. So-
Yeah. But so I am a very, very, very big fan of Saint 14. He's been my favorite character in the lore since he was introduced in Destiny 1. And that's coming from a hunter main, so you know it means something.
Mm.
And I'm really excited for more. We got to talk to him this week and we completed the perfect paradox.
We got to
And
go.
I got to see him as a
Saint
baby
14.
Titan, and they finally did the thing where, like, hey, we've met you in the past where you're just starting out your career. Here's what our city looks like in comparison to yours. It's great.
Mm.
And oh yeah, here, take this shotgun. Like,
We literally completed the perfect paradox, which was on the perfect
this is something
paradox.
we've known
It's
for years in the lore. And we're finally like, here.
about 2 years since the perfect paradox came out. And I want to point out, like, the moment that this happened, like the moment we read the lore, me and my brother were like, oh, okay, so we're gonna go back in time and give the gun to him
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
like
what everybody
explain to him
assumed.
the future. Yeah, we all like basically figured it out.
Also,
it's not-
at some point, I read somebody talk about how we are essentially
We are the stranger.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
the stranger from D1 who kind of shows up and gives us a little bit of guidance and then gives us a cool gun and then
Gun.
leaves.
Then
And
fucks
I'm just
off,
kinda
then
like,
we don't
huh.
see them ever again.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically what we were to him.
Bungie has
but
been doing pretty good with
come-
finishing up storylines now, so I'm glad
Come
about that.
Tuesday, we get to have him back. It also looks like, because of glitches the game has, that he is going to be in the tower.
He's going to be persistent in the tower and
Yes,
in
in the hangar.
Yeah.
Really?
So wow, the
Yes.
hangar is going to be worth something.
Like, was this a leak or?
No, it's a glitch. So there was a visual glitch in the game
Oh, and somebody
Where
saw
his
Saint
sh-
14. Oh.
where his ship and his shotgun, which like basically his shotgun showed up in the same position it would be when it's on his back, and his ship showed up in the hangar where it's not supposed to be yet. So visual glitch basically spoiled that a little bit.
Got it.
I do want to point out that I've been running his ship and his shotgun since the season started, and I have no signs of stopping.
I would have the ship on, except I don't have it on PC.
I don't think I had. I don't know if I have the shock. I don't have to have the ship. I can't find
like
it.
his ship when I first got it on PlayStation, where I originally started playing because
Immediately
I
put it on
PC later. It was the ship. As soon as I got it, it's the only ship I ran because it was.
Yep.
It's so cool looking.
I grinded so hard for it.
It's my favorite model, and it's got like the cool stripes, like ribbons and stuff coming off it.
Ribbon. And the ribbons mean something now in the lore.
Yes,
Oh.
which is awesome.
That's amazing.
So I'm hoping to get it back from, because you can get that ship to drop from the new engrams in this season.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to get one of those to drop the ship for me.
Yeah, I was like people were asking me, it's like, hey, can you still get the ship? I was like, if you can't get that ship this season, then Bungie has made a terrible, terrible mistake.
Well, remember, they've also made Eververse so that when you get stuff from Eververse, you're not going to get duplicates. So if you already have that item in your collections, even if you don't have the physical item, it's just in your collection stuff, you should not get that item again until you've got everything.
Yeah.
Which makes it easy to fill out your collections, which is great, which is something you want from this type of thing.
Yes, I love that.
So I'm super, because I have a lot of the ships already, so I'm super hoping I get the pitch and the drop.
Yeah. And then we also have the Dawning starts on Tuesday, and
the Dawning starts.
We get some lore about a character that we haven't heard lore about in a year.
Yes, now that I don't want to go into because that is
that I'll count that as spoiler territory.
That is spoiler Dead of Mine territory. So
got it.
Man,
it's very interesting. I
very
find it hilarious
depressing.
that
I know what you're talking about.
That I know, for example, Rocket Bear is going to grind the hell out of the Dawning until he gets his polar bear.
Yeah. There was nothing I saw that I liked that I'm like, yes, please.
The polar bear sparrow looks neat. The snow globe ghost is pretty nice looking, but I don't really care if I don't get either. I'll probably end up getting the sparrow at least, because you tend to earn the holiday sparrow from doing stuff. The armor is okay.
I have not been a fan of I don't know. I haven't really been a fan of any of the ornaments this season. I don't know.
Well, the seasonal ornaments for Saint 14's armor, like with like the Titan stuff, for example, is so good looking that's all I'm going to be wearing. Like I know it. So
I might wear the chest piece. I might wear the chest for the ornament, but that's about it. I don't like the other stuff.
I love the arms of the Titan. I'm also I don't know what the Warlock stuff obviously is different.
Yeah, the Warlock stuff I don't really care for. Granted, I don't have a Hunter or Titan at the moment.
The Titan stuff probably looks the best, but it also makes sense because Saint 14 is a Titan, so it's not a hard shift over, right? I wish the ornaments gave us spiky armor. Holy crap, do I want that spiky Saint 14 armor?
I'll give you spiky armor. I don't know how I would do that. Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. I'm looking forward to Tuesday when that stuff.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Other than that, it's just doing work stuff and holiday stuff, as everybody does this time of year.
I really fucking love the new Warlock in Destiny, like the new Solar Warlock changes. Super fun.
The changes,
love it.
Oh, that's a somewhat related thing to Destiny. If you are followers of D&D, I will.
Oh, isn't there like
so the D&D Destiny stuff has gone into somewhat public release for testing. There's a link. So it's called the D&D Destiny Project. Basically, they've gone through and made a player's guidebook for classes and all that stuff. There's a bestiary for enemies. There's a game master thing. They're going to be doing testing groups and stuff.
Very cool.
That is basically Destiny as D&D.
Nice.
This is pretty cool.
I like that. That's very cool.
Yes, and you're not they've done a little more work than you would have expected. It's not just there are basically 3 major classes then as normal, and then your subclasses, right, which you'd pick each. Your races are not just human, Awoken and Exo, though, there's also Helsinki, Cabal, Scions, and I think Vex maybe as well. So there's some
That's
variation
weird.
there.
That seems.
Some of them make sense, like the Cabal. Okay, I can see that. Same thing with the Scions, um, especially the Helsinki. They make a lot.
Yeah, the Helsinki is the only. Which, for those of you who don't know, that's the Fallen.
That's the name of the Fallen before they became the Fallen.
Yeah,
that's their actual species name.
Yeah,
and they were actually, brought up by the Traveler before us, like quite literally. So it kind of makes sense
that they could reacquaint with the light and become guardians, but the Vex definitely, I don't think
the Vex. No, that one doesn't make a ton of sense. The Cabal does, because they're basically just.
I could see it. They're
sentient.
Species, right? They're. I mean, well, the Vex are sentient too, but you know what I mean. They're.
Yeah. But the Vex are a hive mind type thing. So,
that's definitely.
But yeah, so
that really wouldn't fit.
Yeah, and as with any role playing stuff, you can always allow and disallow different things.
Right.
That link I posted for you, Dale, has like their feedback stuff, and a few different files, things like the public release of what's basically the Monsters Manual, the Game Master's Manual, and there's a PDF for the Player's Handbook as well.
Got it.
If you're seeing Dale's chat,
you can hit that link.
And you can just hit that link to check that out. It's a very interesting thing. They put a lot of work.
You could just go to dndestinyproject.com and you can find it. You can figure it out. Use your search bar of choice. I didn't say Google. Look at that.
What are you gonna Chrome it though? I mean, really?
I mean, I don't know. Search bar. You could go to Bing.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Nobody goes to Bing.
We're Binging stuff.
You're being porn. That's it.
Yeah, you Bing and porn. If you're looking for porn, use Bing because it makes sense.
Why? Because nobody else is gonna see your history. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Man,
we were talking about the D&D Destiny project. Just went into their public thing for testing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
we should try that out.
I'd be down.
Actually, that would be very interesting to try out.
I still want to do. I still want to try to get a weekly group of people doing D&D.
Yep.
So do I. Lots of fun. I'm in one now already, but I'd like to do another one that is not like it is either Pathfinder 2.0 or something like this, right? Something a little bit different.
I'd like to do, like just get a group of people online and we can stream it and have a good time.
Yeah, I'm up for that. We streamed our last game. That was streamed for the group I'm in.
Then that was on Saka's channel, right?
No, it wasn't Saka that was streaming it. It was one of our normal players. Saka was supposed to join us for that thing, but the weekends are difficult for Saka because that's one of the few times he gets to spend with his daughter because
got it.
Like a fluffle going on with him. So, but he was going to sit in to see how our group is going along because he's our DM that we have for that group. DM's two groups, one that I'm part of and one that Saka's. So he's running two groups simultaneously, which is why he can't run a third group. Otherwise, I would have asked him to run a third. And we're running parallel campaigns, so we're each running what is essentially the same campaign, but our groups are kind of the way we were split originally. Is that one group was the group who are like, I want to do diplomacy and be nice and good and that type of stuff, and our other group was we call ourselves Team Ends because we're like, the ends justify the means. We'll get shit done. And we're filled with a lot more less than savory characters. Like we have a lizard folk who just ate a guy after we had tortured him. My character sounds about right. Literally a death priest.
Yeah.
So it's things like that.
You would be a death priest.
It's one of the strongest cleric classes. And clerics in 5th E, especially in low, difficult to kill. So I chose a class that is very hardy and difficult to kill. It has a lot of versatility because our group has a bunch of new players in it as well. So in case they got into trouble, I would be able to cover and make sure that the characters didn't die.
Got it.
Which is something I kept in mind. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't.
If we can find a DM
over people. Yes, the DM is always the hard part.
It's always the so because the thing is I could try.
Yes.
But that's the thing is I'm a very I'm a very mediocre DM. I am good at improv, but that's about it. I'm not good at writing overarching stories and stuff. So that leads to some weird shenanigans. But I would absolutely love to, like, we can try to talk to some people. The problem is we need to find a DM who's also familiar with Destiny.
Yes. No.
The previous DM that we could have used, I don't think she's as familiar with Destiny as she is with Dungeons and Dragons. So
Right. Yes. But I'm sure we can find somebody.
oh, I'm sure we can if we look around. Someone who I bet I could. I think I know a couple people I could reach out to for it. So we can try. But hey,
all that stuff's free. They're looking for test stuff out. So
yeah,
feedback's good. I don't know how they'd ever launch this, like, officially. Is the thing.
they really can't. Fun fact:
Yeah.
me and someone else were working on another version of this because we weren't a huge fan of how this one translated exactly.
Yeah.
We made it through most of the classes, but we haven't been able to do the bestiary and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
It is.
It's kind of difficult because he was really busy and I was really busy. So, and we were also both living 300 miles away from each other.
Which is always difficult, yeah.
And so, like, when we got together, we literally had like cork boards and stuff and like red string. Like, I'm not kidding. It was kind of hilarious. But yeah, we're both into D&D, so we were definitely trying to do that. But hey, Destiny's a cool Bungie game. Are there any other good Bungie games that came out recently?
No, actually.
Nothing. Nothing. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, Halo Reach hit PC, but it's I haven't played it on PC. I'm not hearing great things. I'm hearing it just doesn't age well, which makes sense,
That's
it happens.
So
it fucking happens.
There are two camps with this game.
Yes.
There are people who are like, meh, and it didn't age well, and you have people like Comfy who are like, this is the best thing ever. Oh my god.
I haven't played it yet. I want to play it. I want to be able to play it with my wife, but she needs to get a headset for her Xbox.
Context: Halo Reach was my favorite Halo game. It has the best campaign in Halo, period. It's completely standalone, it's unique, and it has a great cast of characters. It was a completely redesigned engine. The weapon skills are really fun. The armor abilities are really fun. And it's super well done. The custom game modes in it were peak Halo, in my opinion, which we're unfortunately don't fully have that on PC yet, but we are getting it eventually. And stuff from Xbox can be transferred to PC, so we can get stuff from there. And I know there's Discords and groups where people have that. Halo plays a lot more like Doom than it does Call of Duty, in the sense that you don't sprint, it moves a little bit slower, and you don't aim down sights. And those things feel dated to a lot of people.
Yeah, the sprint in the game is actually a power you can have.
It's an armor ability.
Yeah.
So, which is like, it's better than nothing. And it feels really good when you're using it in like infection and stuff. But there's other armor abilities that are way more fun, like the deployable bubble shield, armor lock, jetpack, evades. And like, I really like Halo Reach for everything that it is. It's one of my favorite games, and playing it finally in 60 frames per second is awesome. Mousing keyboard on it feels good. It's done well for me. I'm happy with it, but I 100% understand people that say it's too dated.
Yeah.
It's disappointing, but I know exactly what they mean by it, because...
Wait, did you just validate somebody else's opinion even though you disagree with it? Wow, you're a monster. You didn't just berate them and call them wrong. Jesus Christ, how dare you?
Yeah, god damn it, this is the internet.
Jesus Christ. Comfy, I think the fact that you want to approach things diplomatically and not just call people dumbasses, you're a dumbass.
Wow. Yeah, fuck me.
Obviously, I'm joking, and I think
yeah.
more people would think like comfy.
No, like it's. I 100% understand the criticisms.
Yeah.
Like I listened to the jam and they were all like, "It's dated. I don't like playing." It's like, yeah, I get it. I really do. Halo feels slower because over the last couple years, games have sped up a lot. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
have you played Titanfall? That game is like moving at Mach speed. And that's one of my favorite games too. Like Titanfall 2, you move super, super fast and it's almost jarring. And then you look at other games like you have Titanfall like that, you have Destiny where you're moving quickly and jumping around and doing all these weird abilities. And going back to Halo where it's much slower and more methodical.
Yeah.
It's different and a lot of people don't like going back to that, but I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if we did anything else cool.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, I've been just playing. I don't even. Am I even a variety streamer anymore? I haven't played anything but Destiny in like 2 months.
I don't know. You want to play some Gary's mod?
We just did that a couple weeks ago.
I know. Want to do it again?
I did do Jackbox. I'm gonna do more Gary's mod. Like I want to keep doing the beer and buds
Jackbox
Wednesday,
is so
or like the beers on Fridays, and just kind of fuck around with people who are around. That's kind of the goal.
Yeah.
Like I have Left 4 Dead that I want to do. Maybe more Warhammer. Maybe just like make a list of fun games that I have that
Yeah.
are fun with buddies, and just kind of like be like, we're gonna put these in some sort of rotation. What do you want to play this week? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you want to participate in those community nights, have them on PC, or just hang out and chat.
And hey, I spent a lot of effort setting up a Gary's mod server so we can play not only TTT but we can throw in Prop Hunt and other fun games like that.
Cool. That sounds fun. We'll have to do that.
100%.
We will do that.
Also, Deceit. I want to play.
I didn't really. I'll re-download it. I could totally. I'd be down to re-download it for some shenanigans. Sure.
It's a good shenanigans game. It's one of those ones where if you have 6 people who all know each other, it's real good.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we're all looking forward to this week in Vinland Saga. We're gonna have 2 episodes to cover. We're looking forward to doing more Destiny things. Going to save Saint 14's life, apparently. How are we gonna fuck the?
Excited.
And we're gonna fuck the timeline. We fucked the timeline already. How are we gonna fuck the timeline more? Like, what is?
So technically, we don't. If he comes back at this. So here's the thing. When we met Saint 14 when he was dead at that point in time because he died in the past, right?
Right.
Now, there's nothing to say that this point in the future, which is past the point where we were in the past where we thought he was dead, that he can't come back now, live for a really long time, and then to make sure the timeline stays intact, goes back into the Vex network at some later point and dies, and then we find him at that point. So technically, we're not screwing with the timeline as long as he's back to die.
Yeah. But that's the question is, when does he go back to die? Does he go back at the end of the season?
I mean,
technically,
we already screwed with the timeline because we went and met him in the first place. So, like,
that was how the timeline actually worked.
See, but timeline, the Destiny's had a fucked timeline from the beginning. In like,
time is not made out of lines; it is made out of circles.
You're a circle.
That is why clocks are round.
That is why my Glock has a slide, because we're gonna fix it with lead. I don't know what I'm saying. We're just saying random.
Time's haunted.
Time's haunted. Yes. All right. People who aren't Destiny nerds who listen to this podcast are like, the fuck are these guys ranting about again? We always go on about Destiny shit, and they're always probably confused. I don't know. But yeah.
We need to do more Jackbox as well.
Jackbox was really funny.
We can't do more
night,
doodle games.
It was really funny 2 nights ago.
No more drawing games in Jackbox. We cannot allow
you know what we should all pick up?
What's that?
I think that us 3, and we should get a couple more people, should pick up Tabletop Simulator and start playing board game.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Actually, I love games.
I actually just ordered, like, in real life, I just ordered Coup and like One Night Ultimate Werewolf, trying to pick up games for parties and stuff.
I have $4,000.
Copper, did you die?
You cut out.
I'm not even kidding.
You have
I have
$4,000
shut out.
in
How much
games,
time?
probably.
More than 4,000 sitting behind me on shelves.
All
I
right.
believe that. I have a friend who has that where he's just so many games.
Some of them,
Like-
some board games are really expensive. That's
Yeah.
the thing, right? Like some of them are quite pricey. I have a few that are.
Yeah.
Or a couple of my games are for $100, and I have. That's not even take into account the value added over time for some things. Like I have a little card game that was $20 when I picked it up.
Yep.
Comes in a can. If you went to buy that on somewhere now, it'd be about $300
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
because it is gone out of print, and the only way to get it is from someone who has that game. The few that are remaining that have not been bought by anybody, the prices have gone insanely high for them because board games have very limited runs, and if they become popular, they're insanely difficult to get. So it drives the price to the roof.
Yep. Me and my brother were looking at board games because we're going to a Christmas party and want to bring some. So he's bringing like Exploding Kittens. I'm bringing Coup. We were looking at
Nice.
other stuff that we could pick up, and man, it is difficult to find. It's difficult to find those. But luckily, the Steam Workshop exists for Tabletop Simulator, so you can find a lot of those games for free.
Yes, there's a bunch of them that are on there. You can just use that to play. On Steam, there's a game called Armello that is also very, very good. It is a board game, like a digital board game.
If someone has $60 and wants to buy a 4-pack of this, I think we can make this a weekly thing.
4-pack of which game?
Tabletop.
Tabletop? Is it only $60 for a 4-pack?
$60 for 4-pack, $20 for individual. So it wouldn't make sense for us to buy it all separately if we wanted to do that. I'd literally throw money your way to make it cheaper.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's 21. 9.
That's like
66, 49.
Because
Now-
we could do like different weekly tabletop games that are all like unique.
Yes.
True.
Now, the thing with Tabletop Simulator is that you kind of need to buy games as well.
Yeah.
But the games aren't too expensive. They're like usually $8. And only one person, I think, has to have the game.
Some of the games are $5. Some of them are
Yeah.
$6, $7. But those
It
are
depends on-
like
Depends
those
on
are
the game,
some separate
and
games.
like I can go through and tell you which of these games are good too, because I own a good number of games and
Yeah.
about them. Like if you like 4X games, the Legends of a Drift system is good. Blood Rage is a really good game. Like Viviculture, I think, is
And-
one of the ones on here. Yep, there it is there.
And
So there's
also,
like
you can look on the Steam Workshop and people port games there as well.
yes, they do. Yeah, so there's a lot of games. on
So
Steam
if I'm looking
Workshop for
top
stuff.
of all time, they have like Cards Against Humanity ported, Uno, Settlers of Catan. Multiple people made Settlers of Catan, Monopoly, Clue, like Life,
Very cool.
D&D 5e stuff. Like
There's a
we
lot.
could-
Yeah.
Yes. Well, there's a lot of
I
board
found
games in the
Coup.
world.
Yeah, and like that's just how it works. So people will port this stuff so that you can play it with your friends who are very, very far away from you.
Oh, they have role playing games in here.
Yeah, no, there's a bit of everything. So like that's something we should definitely look into if we want to have like, because I think game nights are a great time.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff here for board game, like Tabletop Simulator. If you look, like Azul,
Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Monsters.
Okay.
5 Minute Dragon. Ooh, Everdell is on there. That is such a good game.
Oh, I found the Binding of Isaac game.
Neat.
The lots of Dungeons and Dragons stuff that people have made.
Oh, Bloodborne, the card game.
I think there's a Bloodborne
The-
board game too.
There is.
There's
Unstable
a Dark Souls board
Unicorns.
game, and
Have
that's
you guys
there.
ever heard of Unstable Unicorn?
I have not.
I feel
Holy
like I've
shit.
heard of it, but I
it's
don't know what it is.
stupid fun. It's a really silly card game. It's very fun. I believe they have it on Tabletop Simulator. It would be one that I would want to play. It's
I
hilarious.
see Munchkin, Trivial Pursuit,
Maybe it was a mod. Let me
Pathfinder 1, Hive,
Cash and Guns is a good game.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Starter decks.
Yeah, I would love to have us meme with Yu-Gi-Oh. That'd be
Oh,
so
man.
funny.
Okay,
have Epic
Steam
Spell Wars on
Workshop,
here, too.
Unstable Unicorns plus expansions and rules.
They have the Portal
Or
board game.
Tabletop Simulator. It's a Steam Workshop thing.
Nice. Sorry. Betrayal at House on the Hill. Wait, what?
Bizarre Adventure.
What? Are you searching this or do you see it?
I see it.
Yes.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure deck building game and expansion.
Oh no. Oh no. That's a lot. I can't do that.
That is literally a thing that is on there in the world.
I love it.
Yeah.
Catan, of course. Cards Against Humanity, of course.
Stardust Crusader Tarot deck. Tarot
Yeah,
deck and
there's
poker chips.
Joking
Oh.
Hazard is on there. Timeline. Ooh,
Sheriff of
Sherlock Holmes
Nottingham.
Consulting Detective. Keyforge is on there.
Holy crap. We are seeing I'm
Pets.
finding a lot of games that we would want to play.
JoJo's Bizarre RPG.
Oh my gosh. You know I'll have to make you play a JoJo's game at some point just for the memes, right?
I'll do the deck building one.
Oh, Exploding Kittens. Dope.
Oh, Kagami battles. Okay, this can I get?
I think this is something we look into.
Hold on, I'm gonna. Copy. Okay, comfy. We're here.
Are you DMing me?
I'm gonna send you something.
The Rick and Morty board game.
Yeah. There's a lot of different shit we could do with that.
Apples to Apples. Guess who?
Yeah.
Fan
No,
service
no
playing
DMs.
card with
Do
a bunch of anime girls.
Please no.
Stratego.
Uh,
Star Wars. All the Star Wars board games I've seen on here. Because
Okay, see
everybody likes those.
if this works as a link for you.
It
yeah.
should.
all right.
nice.
Well, we've kind of ranted for a long time about.
We went
Yeah.
off. On
Welcome
a
to the
tangent and a half.
Tabletop Simulator podcast. Anyway, guys, next week 2 episodes of
I
Vinland
see it.
Saga, and then the first 3 episodes of what is it?
ReZero.
ReZero. Okay, is that where can I watch that? Is it on Netflix?
Crunchyroll. That's a
Oh,
Crunchyroll.
Is there a
So
dub?
So comfy. The link I sent you is very anime, as you kind of noticed.
Oh, I see
Is-
it.
That cover
Very
art
anime.
for that picture there, the box
Yeah.
cover, is actually my desktop. Like one
I
character is on
believe
one monitor, the other character is on the other.
I
All right.
see Love Letter. That's a great game too. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to do this.
I'm down. But anyway, so next week more 2.5 Weeb shit. It's gonna be fun. Comfy. Where can people come say hi to you on the internet?
You can see me at mixer.com/Confamous, Twitter @Confamous, Instagram @Confamous, and you can find my address at just put a beep right there, like a long beep, and then end it right there, and start laughing.
Ha 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 ha. Ha. Got it.
Oh, I love Dale's laugh. It's so genuine.
Yeah, so
I mean,
I'm so glad.
Maybe when people make actual funny jokes, it is. Oh,
So you never laugh at yourself. Gotcha.
I mean, I'm hilarious. I don't know about you
Hey guys, I just want you to know, in a tabletop simulator, somebody added vapes that you can use to just make the room smoke.
Oh my god.
All right. Copper, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Copper Lion Art and Copper Lion Designs. And you can easily find me at copperliondesigns.com if you're looking for any design work for, overlays, stream element stuff, headers, merch. Merch has been a big one of late.
If you
Yeah.
want him to make you a hentai character, he will. He will totally make you that. As he's done with
Ooh.
many of our friends recently, playing stupid Jackbox games.
He didn't make anybody a hentai character. He made Zod's floppy a hentai character.
Yes.
Hey,
Well,
Dale, where
either
can
way.
people find you?
You can find me on the internet at mixer.com/Mr. Vengeance, and then on Twitter and the Instagram at _Mr. Vengeance. Don't forget, if you enjoy the podcast, leave a review and stuff if you can. It helps a lot. Let us know where you listen from. Let us know what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy. Know that we appreciate you guys
We'd
listening.
like to hear from people, so
Yeah. Yeah, hit us
What
up.
do you like? What
Let
don't
us
you
know.
like? What can we do better?
don't say Dale's voice. That's just mean.
We can't change it. We tried.
Actually, you totally can.
Dang it.
You forgot he had that, didn't you?
I forgot he had that.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We will see you again soon. Enjoy your weeks. Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna go post Socket's new thing of the day.